talk a little baseball here. I've said it before, I've said it again. A real interesting podcast to listen to, very entertaining, is Knockahoma Nation, hosted by Ken Hendricks and my next guest, Josh Brown, who has previously covered the Rome Braves, Braves minor league system, this sort of thing. And a lot of, what are some of your other writing credits here, Josh Brown, covering the Atlanta Braves?
Wow. Well, not a lot, Marky. I've been featured on Fox Sports.
See, that's something. I want to make sure you're not just some guy who goes to games.
Well, I now live in Boone and sort of, talk about baseball remotely. And, I've been published on Fox Sports, and I used to write a almost daily column for the Rome News Tribune for a few years there. So I hail from Rome, Georgia originally, and covered the Braves up close and personal for a while.
I wish I can tell you that Cooter on the Dukes of Hazzard once said Rome, Georgia wasn't built in a day. I'm now kicking myself. I can't remember what episode. I used to be able to just do all 145, which was a really interesting thing to do because a lot of the scripts were not a whole lot different from some of the other scripts, So being able to recall that, anyway. Let's talk baseball here. Vizcaino out. Does that mean that Craig Kimbrel's coming in?
Here's the thing. There's a reason why not any team has signed Craig Kimbrel, not just the Braves, but all the other teams, right? There's 29 other teams, and no one has signed Craig Kimbrel, right? And so I think Braves fans are forgetting this, but again, no one has signed him. There's a reason. He has declined a little bit, but also he is asking for a lot. He is not backing down from what I've heard from 4 or 5 years.
Last I saw he would go for 3, which...
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but it's the situation of being a closer because, even though Mariano Rivera may have gotten 100% of the Hall of Fame vote, closers, as you know, are looked upon as a dime a dozen. And
well, it's not just that. He's also regressing. I mean, the Red Sox didn't use him in the last game of the World Series last year. And we have way too much data that shows us that he's dipping off. Now listen, he's better than anybody in the Braves bullpen right now. So I'm not shying away from that, but I'm also saying that it just doesn't make sense to give him what he's asking right now. And if the Braves do sign him, they lose their second round pick, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's a big deal. When the Braves are handicapped right now because of the penalties they incurred a few years ago because of their international slot money, right? Yeah. So they don't have a lot to work with. So they're living on these draft picks because of what John Coppola did. They're penalized the next, I think, 3 or 4 years. And so a second-round pick to the Braves means a lot more to them than maybe any other team right now. So I don't think the Braves are going to give that up because they don't have the international money to work with, right? Mm-hmm.
Now,
I don't see it happening.
I know that's what a lot of fans would like to see because the Braves need a closer. But tell me this. You mentioned he's better than anybody in the bullpen right now. Who right now is going to step up? Who would you like, Josh Brown of Knockahoma Nation, to step up as the Braves closer?
Well, I've always been high on A.J. Minter, and I don't think A.J. Minter is as good as Kimbrel or will be as good as Kimbrel. Listen, Kimbrel is in a different category from anybody in baseball, not just the Braves. So you can't compare anybody to Craig Kimbrel, in my opinion. But I would like to see A.J. Minter step up. And this past week, Vizcaino has been out. He's out for the season, so that's a huge loss for the Braves. Mm-hmm. I also think there's some guys that might have the potential of being a formidable closer type that's already in the system. I think that Patrick Weigel might be a bullpen guy. He's a guy that throws 100 miles an hour. He's a starter, but there's just so much talent in the Braves system that not everybody's going to be able to be a starter. There's not enough room, right? And so it's not a matter of, I think that Weigel's not good enough to be a starter. I just think there's so much talent that some of these guys are going to have to go in the pen or get traded, right? And so Weigel, to me, an option. Also, Tuki Toussaint. I think Tuki
Okay.
Toussaint, he's got a lot of heat. He throws 98 miles an hour and has a nasty curveball. Maybe he's a bullpen guy. Will he go harder when he comes back? I think there's a lot of internal options for the Braves. And a lot of the big-name free agent relievers that the Braves didn't go after are terrible right now. Like, it's early. It's a small sample size. It's only April 19th. But most of the guys, except for maybe Cody Allen, who got picked up by the Angels in January, they're not having good years yet. And so you can scream on Twitter all you want and cry about how Alex Anthopoulos didn't get all these free agent closers, but none of them are doing well at all. Like, none, except for Cody Allen. And so I don't know what to tell people. Most bullpens right now seem to be struggling, and it's so early. It's April 19th. I think Biddle is better than what he did the other night. I think Shane Carl's going to be good. Again, no one's Craig Kimbrel. No one in any other team is going to be Craig Kimbrel. So I think Braves are just obsessed with Craig Kimbrel because obviously he played for the Braves, right? And he's from the South, and I get it. It would be a good pickup, but I just don't see it happening because of that second-round pick.
What do you think of Chad Sabatka? I mean, how far away do you think he is?
Chad Sabatka, I like Chad. Chad's funny because I covered Chad in Rome. And
Yeah.
He's one of those guys you just love. That's why you love baseball, because nobody was talking about Chad Sabatka. Nobody. In 2016, he was just like this random guy in the bullpen. He was okay. He wasn't impressive. And then he went to the Fire Frogs and was meh. And I think he had a 5.52 ERA in the Southern League. And then he shows up in the majors late last year and was just nasty. I don't know. I think he's got potential to be good, but I've been watching baseball long enough to know that usually guys, when they come up and they go through the minors, you already kind of know who they are. And even though Chad Sabatka has had some amazing moments in the big league, he could be an anomaly, okay? He could be a unicorn. But most of the time, we already know what kind of pitcher Chad Sabatka is, even though he's had some amazing moments. I don't think he's going to be this, top-tier, elite closer kind of guy. I could be wrong. But I think the jury is a little bit out on him. But we'll see. He's so tall. He's good. He's so good. But, yeah, I don't know. He's a little flaky this year.
Josh. Well, I mean, hey, relief pitchers a little flaky. That's not a problem. I mean, I will love pitchers. It's not a problem. The idea.
Yeah.
But he has been timed as much as 100 miles an hour, and that's usually. I mean, it seems like that's what you want out of the closer. I mean, you're looking at somebody to go through 3, possibly a few more hitters, and you just want them to blow it away. And that's the role right there. You are going through the middle of your bullpen, guys with a lot of breaking stuff. Maybe their fastball isn't so dominant, and then boom, boom, boom. Here we go. That's the role of the closer, and that's why I bring up Sabatka. Who, by the way, ETSU fans may be interested in this. Went to South Carolina Upstate, which used to be an old Atlantic Sun rival of East Tennessee State. So there you go with that. But yeah, he was picked 4th round 2014, and as you say, the one dominant pitch. And a lot of times that's what you look for out of a closer there, Josh Brown. I mean, I could go to the old days or something, Gene Garber throwing underneath. Wait, we haven't seen this all day. It is that sort of mindset now. You don't want to go 3 times around the order. You want to have sometime in the ball game a different kind of pitcher just to change things up, changing speeds, different velocities, things like, well, that is the same as changing speeds, isn't it? But, you have that. If you want to go real far back with the Braves, Hoyt Wilhelm, you have, so what's this knuckleball coming in the 9th inning, So, that's one of the things I look with Sabatka. I just look at that. Is there anybody on the one staff or even in the high minors you think has that one dominant pitch that can be, therefore, a great relief pitcher for the 9th inning?
I think it's Patrick Weigel, and I think that will trigger.
Yeah, you mentioned him before.
On Twitter, because I think a lot of fans I'm high on him, but he's been groomed to be a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And Weigel he's got fastball movement. He pitches 100 miles an hour. He was clocked like 102, I think, a couple years ago. And I was like in low A. He's coming back from Tommy John. I think he's going to be back like midsummer. So that's a guy.
But what do you do until then, I guess, is the big question here.
That's the weird thing. It's a weird market right now. Right now, there's not a lot of guys who are available. The big free agent arms that were available, like Familia, are not very good right now. They're having terrible Mays, except for Cody Allen. And so, what do? I think it's right now. I think it's like a mental thing. I really think that. I think that Biddle and Carl. It's a psychological thing, and I think part of it too. And this is a long conversation, but you got to trust your starters a little bit more, right? I mean, there's no reason why these guys have to come out after 5 or 6 innings, right? And we see it so much. And when you have a weak bullpen, why do that? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, the other night, even Soroka coming back. Soroka was doing fine. It was, I think, 1-0. And they take him out after 5 innings. I mean, there's no reason. It's just, I guess. He's got a messed up shoulder, so maybe that's inexcusable, but, that's free.
Look, I'm down with you and having starters go into games there, Josh Brown. I mean, it bothers me. I mean, we still talk about opening day 2017. What was Snitker thinking, right? Taking Tehran out of the 0-0 game, but when he was due up the next inning as a pinch hitter, and a bullpen gives up 6 runs and they lose the ball game. Okay. I mean, we still talk about that. I would point out, I just wonder if the pitchers today have the endurance. In North Carolina, for instance, I learned high school pitchers can only throw 105 pitches a game, or else they, by rule, have to be taken out. In Tennessee, it's 120, by the way. But you look at this, and, in the minor leagues, there's pitch counts of, say, 75. In the Appalachian League, it's rare when a pitcher will go past 5 innings. You have another point where, I just wonder if now we babied them so much that they can't go the 9 innings. Cleveland Indians last year led the majors in complete games. They had 5. They also had this horrible bullpen. And I mean, I can remember one game against the Reds they played. They were up 7 runs in the 9th and lost. Their bullpen was that bad, and Francona felt he had to go all the way he could with his starter. So figure it out. I just think that's and it's unfortunate. I actually think it's also a product of the DH. Because we don't have the natural removal of the pitcher with a pinch hitter, we now slavishly say, his pitch counts. So that's one of the things that I think has come up. But anyhow, hey, can you stay on through the break and we can talk some general baseball? I want to know what your opinions are of Kate Smith.
Let's do it.
All right, Tri-City Sports Now. Josh Brown, talk to you next.